Hi everyone! Today I'm proud to introduce you to our new flagship instrument, Oscillarys. We built Oscillarys to be an atmospheric synthesis engine designed specifically for motion. The concept here was to blur the border between the organic and the spectral. We wanted to create an instrument that doesn't just play static notes, but conjures tones that breathe, dissolve, and reform. While it's capable of a huge range of sounds, we crafted it specifically for the demands of deep ambience, cinematic scoring, and experimental composition. It offers a sonic body that is darker, smoother, and undeniably alive. At its heart, it's a powerhouse. 3 identical synth layers, a dual serial filter section featuring the renowned Monarch filter, and a massive effects suite. And for those of you with hardware, it's fully unlocked for deep NKS integration. Let's dive in and see what makes it tick. It all starts with the source. At the core of Oscillarys is a massive vault of over 1,500 oscillator samples. We didn't just want quantity, we wanted a specific texture blending raw analog sources with digital and organic elements. When you look at the categories, you'll see the range we cover. Cycle. These are your single-cycle waveforms, ranging from classic sine, triangle, and saw to complex additive, F, M, and bit-crushed waves. Analog. We sampled a huge collection of Eurorack modules and hardware synths. These tones range from clean and liquid to rough, gritty, and characteristically analog. Digital. This is an extensive collection drawn from a staggering array of sources, including classic hardware synths, digital modulars, and digital Eurorack modules. Organic. Here we have natural sounds like violins and human vocals. Many have intentionally odd processing to give them a vintage, Mellotron-esque tone. Dystopia. Drawn from our Dystopia diary, these are noise and ambient samples. Everything from standard white noise to radio static, industrial ambience, rain, and more. Phenom. These sounds pay homage to our legacy Ocean Swift plugins, including Defiant WT, Polyphenom, Aeolian Meditation, and our work on the Scope DSP platform. Shots. An eclectic collection of melodically playable one-shots, covering acoustic instruments, snappy analog basses, plucks, and synth leads. Untune. For when you need texture over melody, these are untuned playable drones, tones, and modulated spectrums. Idoran. Finally, a special curated collection of interesting layers and cinematic tones, ranging from the lushly beautiful to the granularly swirly. One important thing to note, this library is open. These are standard files, meaning you aren't just buying them for Oscillarys. You can use these samples anywhere in your production workflow. Before we start tweaking knobs, it's crucial to understand the signal flow, because this is where Oscillarys gets its power. Think of the instrument as a funnel. At the top, we have 3 identical synth layers. Each of these layers is a self-contained synthesizer with its own signal chain, meaning each one has its own independent filtering, layer effects, and deep modulation before it ever touches the master bus. Once the sound leaves those 3 layers, they are combined and sent through a very specific dual filter section. We run them in series, first through a versatile multi-filter, and then immediately into a dedicated Monarch filter implementation. This serial routing is key to the instrument's character. Finally, the signal hits the effects section, passing through 4 slots in order: creative, modulation, delay, and reverb. So you have independent shaping at the layer level, followed by unified sculpting at the master level. Let's zoom in on a single layer. Remember, there are 3 of these, but even just one is a powerhouse. On the main controls, you obviously have your sample type and selection menus, but pay attention to the shaping tools here. You can adjust the start position of the sample, and we've included 2 dedicated color knobs right at the source. Lo-fi, which reduces the sample rate for that crunch. Warm, which applies saturation directly to the signal. If we look at the modulation tab for this layer, you'll see we have 3 dedicated envelopes: amp, filter, and pitch, along with a flexible LFO section. But what really makes the layers stand out are the layer effects. Each layer has its own. Filter, with low-pass and high-pass controls. Stereo, for detuning and widening. Gator, for rhythmic chopping. Delay, a fully functional delay unit per layer. This means you can have a rhythmic gated texture on layer 1, a wide lush pad on layer 2, and a filtered drone on layer 3, all playing simultaneously before they even hit the main filters. We know that sometimes you need precise control, but other times you just want a spark of inspiration. We built a few specific workflow tools to help with that. First, let's look at the random button found on every layer. Clicking this will instantly randomize the sample selection. But here's the pro tip. Hold the Alt key while clicking. When you do this, it keeps the sample type locked. So if you are in the dystopia category, you stay there. But it randomizes the specific sample within that folder. It's the fastest way to cycle through textures without losing your sonic direction. Also, look at the animate control in the main section. Oscillarys is built for motion, and this toggle instantly engages or disengages the timed animations across the interface. And finally, to speed up your layer management, we added dedicated copy and paste buttons right here. You can dial in the perfect envelope or LFO on layer 1 and instantly duplicate it to layers 2 and 3. Now, let's talk about tone. Once the layers are summed, they hit our unique dual filter architecture. The signal passes through 2 filters in series. The first stage is the filter multi. This is your sound design workhorse with 21 different filter types available. You have your standard ladders and state variables, but also more creative types like daft, phaser, and vowel filters. This is where you shape the initial character. The signal then flows immediately into the second stage, the filter monarch. This is a special implementation of the renowned low-pass filter from Reactor. It is there to add that final analog weight and warmth. You can switch it between 2-pole and 4-pole modes, and it even has a dedicated gain control to drive the signal post filter. By combining a digital multi-mode filter with a modeled analog filter in series, you get a hybrid tone that is very difficult to achieve in other synths. The final stop in our signal chain is the effects section. We've organized this into 4 dedicated slots that run in series. First is the creative slot. This is where you fundamentally reshape the sound. You have tools like Ring Mod, Freak, which simulates old AM radios, Byte for that sample rate reduction, and Derp for distortion. Next is the modulation slot, which adds movement. We've included some of our favorite algorithms here like choral, phases, and the flare flanger. Then comes the delay slot. You have access to the twin delay for stereo bouncing, but the highlight here is replica. It features 5 distinct styles including modern, analog, tape, and diffusion. Finally, the reverb slot. This places your sound in a physical space. We offer Galois and Plate, but the star of the show is ROM. With its airy and cosmic modes, it is capable of creating massive, otherworldly soundscapes that define the atmospheric character of Oscillarys. One of the most powerful features of Oscillarys is that it isn't closed off. We wanted you to be able to use this engine with your own library. In the main controls, if you set the sample type to user, you unlock the custom sample engine. You can simply drag and drop any audio file directly onto the display to load it. Think about what this means. You can take a simple vocal recording or a drum loop and run it through our specific signal chain, using the Monarch filter, the replica delay, and the ROM reverb. It effectively turns Oscillarys into a high-end processing shell for your own sample collection. Finally, I want to touch on something very important to us: accessibility. Oscillarys features deep NKS integration. This means if you are using a compatible controller, all parameters are mapped, labeled, and ready to play right out of the box. We also designed this instrument with the visually impaired community in mind. If you turn on the info pane in Kontakt, you can hover over any control, every knob, slider, and button, to read a detailed help tag explaining exactly what it does. We really hope you enjoy exploring the motion and atmosphere of Oscillarys. Thanks for watching!